All right, so here is a new update for everyone concerning the governor's race. So I am going to share my screen so that you all will know how to locate the information about the people in your area, so that you can be informed. So you would just go to Google, put in show me a sample ballot for the upcoming elections, or you would just put in who's on the ballot, and it should be the first thing that comes up should be, if you're in Fulton County, this particular search. So Fulton County voting and elections sample ballot. So you'll scroll down and you can look at the Republican, Democratic, or nonpartisan ballot. I am very interested in the Democratic one. I usually vote Democratic. Sometimes I don't. And so I am going to be going over these candidates. We went over Jon Ossoff. I explained why I won't be voting for him. But we have all of these candidates running for governor. So when you're starting to do your research, you just want to put in the name of that person. So that's what we'll start doing here. I'm going to go to Google. And I'm going to put in, you see how, what you all. So you see how when you put in that person's name, they give you general information, but you really want to pay attention to the controversy part. Not because this stuff is always true. Sometimes considered to be controversial is bullcrap. It could be trumped up charges. It could be things that got blown out of proportion, but they want to make that person look bad, and so they make a big deal out of it. But they said that former mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottom, had several controversial ethics related campaign allegations and allegations of misuse of public funds. They talked about her husband's Super Bowl travel expenses. It ties to a contractor involved in a city investigation and a $37,000 ethics fine. So, does this mean that Keisha Lance Bottoms was dirty, that she took money she wasn't supposed to? It says the Ethics Commission fined her $37,000 for campaign finance violations related to her 2017 mayoral campaign, including improper reporting of over $180,000 in payments. They also accused her of pay to play allegations and contracting. So this might be true. This might be true, even though, and the reason why I'm saying it might be true is because of the fine. If you are pretty much clean of an allegation, you should literally not have to pay a fine. So this is concerning. This is concerning, and she's not at the top of my list anyway. So this puts her in the probably not list for me, but that's AI. So I'm not going to trust AI as much as I would trust something else. So Kemp issued statement on lawsuit against Bottoms. So here you can see where sometimes politics is playing into the accusations against somebody, because as dirty as Governor Kemp is, and yeah, I will say he's dirty as they come. And the reason why I would say that is because the water department was fined for putting forever chemicals in our water and not telling us about them. And so these chemicals cause cancer, they cause organ failure, they cause real long-term health issues that are killing people every single day. And Kemp decided that they didn't have to clean up our water. He decided that for the millions of people that live in the state of Georgia, that the water, that Dow, I think it was Dow Chemical Company, they don't have to clean up the forever chemicals that they've placed in our water. And so, yeah, that's dirty because you don't speak for me. You don't speak for the millions of people who want to be able to drink clean water. And so, anything that he does, I look at it sideways because in my opinion, he is as crooked as they come. So today, Kim issued the following statement regarding litigation against Atlanta Mayor Lance Bottom and the City Council. I sue the City of Atlanta to immediately stop the shuttering of local businesses. Okay, this was some COVID stuff. So I won't get into my personal opinion about COVID because that's not relevant at this time. But her being fined, like when you know that people are looking at you and they want to try to accuse you of corruption, the last thing you want to do is give them some ammunition, give them something to be able to point at your finances and be able to say that you didn't do the right thing. So for that reason, Keisha Lance Bottoms is not at the top of my list. But just to be fair, and let me make sure I'm on the right tab here. Well, it is not telling me. It's not telling me if this is the correct tab. So let me see what I'm doing here. All right, let me share my screen again. So I'm gonna go back here. All right, so starting from the top, I'm gonna assume that those are, most of the allegations against her. Some of this I heard about, some of it I didn't. And so, again, if you know that people are after you, if you know people who are trying to embarrass you and paint you a certain way, the last thing you want to do is give them ammunition. So when we go to her issues, let's talk about issues. When we go to her issues, you see that she's taking a stance about healthcare. So she's going to expand Medicaid in the Georgia Pathways program, replace it with real coverage that actually works for families. Okay, that's a good cause. Housing is focused on bringing costs down by building more housing and moving projects faster. So she'll create a housing fast track initiative to streamline permitting and improve coordination. Okay, maybe. Education should fully fund Georgia schools and modernize the state's outdated education funding formula so it reflects the needs of students today. So that most likely will mean taxes, more taxes being raised to do stuff like this. And education is such a complicated issue. Universal pre-K and kindergarten. Okay, I thought that's what the lottery funding was doing. Agenda for farmers, helping keep land in family hands, expanding opportunity, protecting producers from economic shocks. Okay, that's interesting. Small business. She's going to focus on state economic policy, restructuring the Department of Economic Development to better serve Georgia's smallest funds. Okay, small business is very important. That's kind of general though. Rooted in belief that safer communities require both enforcement and prevention. All right, so here's a big one. So much of the Georgia budget is about putting people in jail, putting people on probation, and making sure that law enforcement in every form, from the officers all the way up to the judges, are seeing their pay increase while providing nothing of significant value to the community. And a lot of that is allowing innocent people to sit in jail for years. And so let's see what she says about public safety. Create state support for local law enforcement. Nope. Nope. Specialized. Nope. Nope. Invest in targeted violence reduction. Support universal background checks and a red flag law. Expand diversion treatment for nonviolent cases. Strengthen reentry pathways. So this is always a red flag. This means she is beholden to the police. She's going to pour more and more money into what should be a system that is actually being slimmed and trimmed because it's bloated and it's completely out of control. All right, so freedom and democracy should stand up for Georgia, a woman's rights to choose. This is very important. Push back on laws and actions that make voting harder, protect local election officials, rein in control, support policies. Okay, just been clear Georgia needs a government standing. All right, so that's what she's supposed to say in terms of that. Environmental stewardship. She'll treat climate and environmental policy as a real government. Okay, she didn't do that when she was actually governor. I mean, when she was actually mayor of Atlanta. And it was very disappointing. The only one who had a great record for that is Kasim Reed. I was not impressed with what she was doing at all. And so to think that she's going to do it as governor, I don't know. I hope that she will. I really do. I hope that she will. I know this lady. I don't know how I know her, but I know her. Okay. So she wants to make the state the best state in the country for veterans and military families. That's beautiful. So she's hitting all the talking points. She's making sure that she covers her bases with what she has as her platform. But that controversy, that fine, is significant, and it's something about not being creative for me, about not making sure that you stand on your own. Like these are boilerplate. All the Democrats say this. All the Democrats say they're going to do this. So what gives me confidence that you're actually going to succeed as a Democrat in making this happen? That's the issue with all of this. It's all the same things they always talking about. Oh, we're going to create this board and we're going to create this thing, and usually that means they're going to pay people that they know to sit on a board and talk about it for a year or two, and then when it's time to implement it, they're going to be running up talking about how they just did this great big thing that they just did when it's just, to me, it is a lack of creativity, and it is a way to say that there's a good chance that your friends, her friends, and people that she know are going to be sitting on these boards and sitting on these workforces and task forces and making decisions that are going to take forever to implement. And so I do have concerns about the language here. I don't see any creativity from my perspective. If you want to really get things done, you need to at least be able to hint at a creative way that you're going to address those things. And I'm not seeing it with Keisha Lance Bottoms. It's not enough for me to like her. It's not enough for me to want to support a woman. That's not enough. From what I've seen and from what I know, people in the state of Georgia have been screwed by women as quick as any man. And are not the black women are not the they're we're not cardboard. We're not all the same. We're not cookie cutter. We all have a sense of what we believe is important and a sense of what we want to see as our legacy. And if your legacy is to be like the typical Democratic voter, then Keisha Lance Bottoms is going to be a safe bet for you because she's saying everything they always say. I'm not in a position to support anybody who's doing and saying the things they always say and do. I'm just not. So, Olu Brown. Now, I have to say this about Olu Brown. I used to be, I used to be a I don't want to say a member, but I definitely used to visit. I used to visit Impact Church. I loved Impact Church. To see Olu running is beautiful to me. And for Olu to take it seriously and for him to want to be governor, he like skipped over mayor and all the other stuff he could have did and ran to go be governor. I love that. I think that takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage. So we're going to check out Olu's website: healthcare to housing, transit to education, building a new vision that improves the quality of life for us all. Okay, so that's pretty decent. You're supposed to say that. From growing up in small town America to founding one of the fastest growing churches, leading multi-million dollars. Okay, I like this because he has experience dealing with multi-million dollar budgets. He has experience with a fast growing entity. Impact is powerful. I love Impact Church. And then let me see. Let me see what he has to say about economic development. So this is his story. He's been a resident of Georgia for 25 years. He's from Texas, led by faith to build a community of inspiration, hope. He really did that. He really did that with Impact Church. I love Impact Church. A vision for Impact was to cultivate more than just a place for weekly worship, dynamic community that lived out his faith through action. And so part of the reason I'm really leaning towards Olu is because I saw what he did with Impact. He really empowered everyday people to come forward and share their gifts. And he really created like a vital, thriving community sort of organization with Impact Church that was based on like this vision of, I just loved it. I just loved it. So I'm glad to see he's running. Now, does he have the grit? Does he have what it takes um, to be able to handle the dirtiness of politics? I think with God, you can do it all things. And so I am leaning towards Olu because I know that I remember when we used to go visit Impact Church in the back of the school out in the West End. Like my kids love going to the church. I love going to it. It was just a down to earth place to worship. But he also took the other elements. He took the community. He empowered people. I just really loved it. So for me, he's in the lead. He's worked with hundreds of clients, facilitating workshops, providing strategic guidance on leadership development, organizational growth, economic revitalization. So these are all the things the Black community needs. These are all the things that really the whole state needs at this point. We all need this: leadership, organizational growth, economic revitalization. Um, all right. So he is in the lead for me. He's in the lead for me. These are his books. All right. And so that's Olu. Now let's see if Olu has any controversy. Let's see if anybody's been talking crap about him. So I'm going to put in controversy. Okay, call the fraud and liar government. Rick Jackson was calling for. Okay, that has nothing to do with Olu. Medicaid expansion debate proposed using part of the state. Oh, let's see what's going to happen to the state surplus. Something Kemp said he was going to be giving back part of it with checks that we never received. So Olu Brown proposed using part of the state surplus to create a premium relief fund that would give families a 15% discount on monthly insurance premiums. I'm a small business owner. As of January, our family's monthly healthcare premium is now more than our monthly mortgage. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's catastrophic to our family and catastrophic to families across Georgia. Derek Jackson also said he would use how he would use the surplus. So he wants to use that for hospitals. So I'm gonna get to him. But I really wanted to see what Olu had to say about this. Now, to create a premium relief fund that would give families 15% discount on their insurance premiums. I'm an insurance agent, so I know what y'all are going through. I see the numbers every day. Um, I will say this: we need to make radical change when it comes to medical care and how medical care is handled in this country. Radical change. I am for radical change. And so that idea is insufficient. It's a band aid. If you do it, it's a band aid. Think about what happened when we started putting lottery funds into the colleges. When we put lottery funds into the colleges, now college is huge. It's one of the leading causes of debt in this country. And the lottery funds was supposed to make college more accessible and more affordable and for everybody. And it did the exact opposite. So unintended consequences have to be considered when you're talking about giving money to multi-billion-dollar corporations. All right. Now, the conservative group denounced anti-Semitism. So yeah, we're not going there. So let's see if there's anything else about Olu that we need to know about. Starts faith for the governor campaign. All right. So I'm not seeing anything dirty about him, but you're not gonna find dirty stuff on the first page. You're not gonna find dirty stuff on the first page. You're gonna have to go a little deeper. Um, all right, so let's see. Still looking here. Okay. All right, so someone is claiming there is some type of scandal, but it's on TikTok, and TikTok is known for peddling bull crap. So I'm not getting on that. Um, I'm not even going to turn on it. I'm not a part of TikTok like that, and I hope y'all get off TikTok. It's owned by people who do not believe in democracy, and I would get off of it if I were you all. All right, let's see. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go deep. I'm gonna go to page 7 to see if there's any issue that we need to be concerned about. Okay. All right. So when we talk about how they play games, so this is an excellent example. Georgia Ethics Commission declined to investigate whether Republican Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones broke state law when he loaned $10 million to somebody. This is an example of why you don't put so much trust into accusations, um, especially when you see that they prosecute who they want to prosecute. They selectively do that. And so for you to see something like this, whatever Burt Jones is running for, he's going to be someone that you need to watch very closely, because there is a good chance that he does not give a damn about ethics. And he knows he doesn't have to give a damn about ethics, because the people who are supposed to be holding him accountable if he violates ethics are not going to do it. So that's why you want to be careful when you're considering people in the public eye. So talk key issues on a branch. All right, so I don't see anything that is jumping out at me about Olu. It makes sense that he is going to be pretty clean. He's a pastor. Now that doesn't mean some pastors aren't getting down behind the scenes, but um, Olu, I'm glad to see he's standing up to the smell test. And so Olu is in the lead for me. He's definitely in the lead for me. So let's go back to the next person running, Amanda Duffy. So I did a little bit of searching for Amanda Duffy um, the last time I was going through this search, and so I liked her. That doesn't mean I'm going to vote for her, but I did like her, and I liked her because she was showing some creativity. So to go to her website, you are seeing, okay, all Georgians deserve the opportunity to thrive, not just survive. Okay. It's comprised of more than its major urban areas, more than its wealthiest residents, prioritizing our rural and suburban families, small business, their employers, farmers, public service, such as teachers. All right, so already she's putting, I didn't see this before, she's pitting the city against the suburbs and the rural areas, which is interesting. All Georgians an opportunity to get out to financially survive. What people in the rural communities don't understand about people who live in Atlanta is when you see what we're paying in taxes, when you see what we pay to live in the city, we need to see something for our money. Our money should not be going to support rural areas because rural areas have their own sources of income. And if you all no longer have those sources of incomes, you need to hold your local people responsible for that. That's not up for Atlanta to make up for your shortfalls. No disrespect to you all, because I understand the hospitals closing and a lot of things are being taken away because you're in a rural area. But that is not the fault of the city of Atlanta or its residents who pay the highest taxes, have the highest sales tax, have we're paying more for gas, we pay more for everything, we pay more for insurance, we pay more for our services. Our water bill is one of the highest in the country. So to ask us to then pull money out of the city to support you all is disrespectful, and it is proof that you all aren't using your imaginations the way that you can to build your own rural communities up. So let's talk about what else she's talking about. Miss a financial survivor. Yeah, I'm a mom whose family is in financial survival mode. I'm working class Georgia, struggling to make ends meet. Volunteering in my community has been, however, mode is outdated. All right. Here, this doesn't attract me. If you're struggling to make ends meet, how do I trust you to make sure I'm not going to be struggling with you? I mean, honestly, if you're struggling and you see this budget for billions of dollars come in front of your face, so you know what to do with it. If you're not operating at a certain level with your own finances, um, no shade. I'm just saying, like, if you want to be abundant, you have to focus on abundance. She says she won't be able to do much about groceries or gas. She's going to prioritize in changing the state income tax to a graduated progressive tax system. All right, that's, whatever. Um, so this I saw something she was on, and I kind of liked what she stood for, but again, I can't vote for someone who's gonna tell me the focus doesn't need to be on Atlanta. Atlanta's not saying the focus needs to be on us. Just stop robbing us. Stop taking the money that we are generating in the city and putting it in your areas and then telling us we're not doing nothing for y'all. It's been proven that the airport and our taxes and a lot of the things that we are supporting here in Atlanta is subsidizing things that are going on in the rural areas, and it's not fair. So that's all the time I'm gonna give Amanda, because I think that's all the time I needed to see what I needed to see. Now let's talk about Jeff Duncan. Jeff Duncan is very interesting to me. He's a former Republican turned Democrat. When I look at him, I see Republican, y'all. I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover. I'm seeing a Republican. It's something about the Republican face that has a rigidness that uh, I don't know. I just it just speaks to me. It's an energetic thing. Even when he talks about standing against Trump, and he's talking right as a former Republican. I just really don't know. I don't know if he's passing the gut check for me. So let's see what he says about the FBI raid, because
You found your dream engagement ring at Chain Company. Is it protected?
This is from
Absolutely.
Face Nation. Let's see what they're talking about.
Welcome back to The Takeout. The second week of early voting in Georgia is underway, and state officials are touting record numbers. The first 7 days of early voting saw more than 214,000 Georgians cast ballots. That is a 28% increase from 2022. Former Republican Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, Jeff Duncan, joins me now. He is now running for governor, but as a Democrat. Great to see you, Lieutenant Governor. The DOJ, as you know, is seeking the names of people who worked in the 2020 election in Fulton County. Just a few hours ago, I saw you posted on social media about that. You also
and we saw additional signs of those attempts when they raided the FBI, raided the Fulton County elections warehouse a few months ago. That had nothing to do with the 2020 election. It has everything to do with sowing seeds of doubt in these upcoming midterms. And my advice to Republicans are, if they want to win an election, then just govern better. Focus on the issues that matter the most: the affordability crisis, the healthcare crisis. Those are things that real people in Georgia need solved. Those are the problems that they want.
So every time I look at something that involves him, he's always saying the right things. He literally does. He was lieutenant governor from 2019 to 2023. He was a state representative from 2013 to 2017. So let's see if there's any controversy. And I'm sure his political shift, his past conservative records, his former anti-abortion stance, opposition to Medicaid expansion, recent right-leaning comments on immigration. All right, so he was a part of the people who did not want women to have a right to get an abortion if they were about to lose their lives, or from what I'm seeing, if you were a part of that wave of Democrats who were like, all abortion after, you can hear a heartbeat is just wrong. No. So ex-Republican cover up his long anti-abortion record. Okay. This is a no for me. This is a no for me. Sometimes you can't be playing with other people's lives. You can't be playing with other people's lives based on what you believe in and what you think is right. You are telling me you want to put an innocent baby in the house with people that don't want to have a baby. That's cruel to me. That's a level of cruelty that I could never co-sign. And so I cannot vote for Mr. Duncan. So I'm going to close that up. I'm going to make sure that I go back here. All right. So it's good that he's talking about what he believes in, but I cannot, as a woman, I cannot allow my daughters and granddaughter to not have a right that I enjoyed and that women like me enjoyed for 50 years, just to have people come and snatch it away with no real plan, except they're going to make sure that there's enough people to fill these jails and fill these low wage jobs, and they want to guarantee that they're going to have people that will continue to be on drugs and continue to be out here selling their body, because that is a long-term result of not allowing people to have abortions if they need to. They're going to allow children's mothers to die on operating tables and die inside of hospitals or at home because they're being denied adequate medical care, and there is absolutely no way I could ever support anybody who stands for that. All right, so Jason Esteves is next. So let's see what Jason's talking about. So, okay, he want money. I see you want money, sir. All right. So, a new generation of leadership, working hard but still being left behind. Strange pilot, Georgia needs a new generation. Fight for Georgia, no matter how tough it gets. All right, I like the generational talk because I think politics does need fresh blood. Then he's showing how he get down with old people, which is good. Affordable housing, affordable child care, improving. Okay, that's good. Cost of living, expanding healthcare. No details on how he's going to cut that. Expanding healthcare, fight to lower the cost of insurance by expanding Medicaid, getting more Georgia's insurance, invest in a rural hospital, secure much needed resources for senior care. Okay, not telling me no details about how you're going to do that, or that you have experience with doing that. Investing in Georgia's small business. Okay, he's got several small businesses, including an urgent primary care clinic in Atlanta. Okay, so he's familiar with what's happening with the medical side. And restaurants in Columbus and Macon. Okay, understand the challenges and opportunities that come. All right, I like that. He has done real stuff. This is what this says. He's done real stuff. So let's see what his priorities are. So again, cutting the cost of living, expanding healthcare, investing in Georgia, putting Georgia students first, protective reproductive freedom, great. Black men's agenda. Black men deserve for too long numerous interconnected challenges. When Black men are healthy, supported. What is his plan for Black men? This is interesting. Okay, health, increase preventative screening, Medicaid, wealth, increase access to capital, opportunity, building electoral power. Okay, so all of this is wonderful, but he missed the number one thing that affects young Black men in this country and especially this state, and that is mass incarceration. So if you can talk about Black men and not talk about how they are targeted, let's see, he'll ensure that Black boys are not left behind by public school, but caught in the school to prison pipeline or recidivist. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Align high school pathways with post. That's a good one. We know that change Black men and they have the power. So this is interesting, but this is not that. This is the big one right here. He's saying again. Let's go back to this because I see I wasn't sharing my screen. So he's saying Black men deserve a fair shot. He's looking at improving health, including preventative screenings, access to mental health, reliance on and reduce. Okay, that's good that he's gonna reduce Georgia's. I need to know how you're gonna do that. Violence prevention. Okay, that's good. I didn't see that. So that he put this under health. Okay, so that's good. Increase capital, raise the minimum wage, strengthen reentry. Okay, protect and strengthen fatherhood. Okay, that's interesting. I'm wondering how he's going to do that. Mentoring aligned high school pathways. Now, this is where he talked about that Black boys and men are not left behind by the public school system or caught in the school to prison pipeline or recidivism pattern. I'm curious about how he's going to address that. So I'm glad I had to go back and look at this again because, in his own way, he is addressing it from different vantage points. So it's neck and neck between Jason Estevez and Olu. So let's see if there is any controversy about Jason Estevez. Let's see. And let me make sure I am sharing my screen. All right. So let's see. Controversy. Attack rival of abortion ban stance. Okay, moves forward after being left out. The second primary now did not qualify for Wednesday nights. Didn't support Jason Estevez. Okay, Decatur-ish. All right. Okay, I hope everybody who's going out to vote, like if 214,000 people have already gone out to vote, I hope y'all did your research. I hope you did your homework. There's a lot of people on the ballot. Do not go by people's name brands, y'all. Do not go with, and I see bottom leads poll in Georgia. Please don't do that. Please don't just, and I'm not against Keisha Lance Bottoms. I believe she would make a decent choice. We need a bold choice. We need someone who is, to me, in my opinion, we need someone who is not going to play around with people who are in opposition to truth and common sense and order and love for your neighbor, all the things that they claim they represent as Christians. You got to have somebody who's going to be willing to stand up to those people. And so Keisha Lance Bottoms, she's going to stand up. She's going to stand up as, to me, as a typical Democrat, which means she's not going to say the things that need to be said in this climate when we are sending billions of dollars overseas for genocide. Like, she's not going to say it. So, in my opinion, she's not going to stand up for that. And I don't know how Olu stands on that. I don't know how Jason Estevez stands on that. But I can tell you this, if we don't have someone who's willing to stand on it, we are going to continue to be complicit in the genocide that is being committed. All right, I'm not worried about the electability and all of that stuff because you can put in who you want to put in. If people can put in a crook, a rapist, and a pedophile, they can definitely put in someone who maybe cares about people and cares about upholding a certain standard. All right, let's see what he says about data centers. That's important. Where do these people stand on data centers? You know how we feel about data centers. And when I say we, I mean people with common sense, people who want to leave something of value to their children in terms of an earth that's beautiful and not completely destroyed. And so let's see what he says. Okay. So they're saying, how would you address the push to eliminate or cut property taxes? They feel the pinch, and I want to make sure we provide as much tax, whether it's income tax. I think we need to do that responsibly. What I did when I was state legislator as a senator representing, I cut property taxes for seniors. I believe I can work with cities and counties to bring tax relief in a responsible way that provides relief for hardworking people, allows cities and counties to maintain the services they provide. We can redirect a lot of giveaways and handouts that are currently okay. Billionaires and special interests, a data center tax credit that we can redirect those billions of dollars to the pack of okay. Now he was supposed to say that and he did. So that is good. It's just a matter of making sure. But are you saying I would, as a governor, I would make sure that the data center project meets 4 requirements. The first is that it needs to put its fair share of utility, pay its fair share, okay? The cost of laying the plumbing, sewer lines, not to be borne by ratepayers and taxpayers. Absolutely. The second thing is to ensure the project does not receive a state handout. Right now, taxpayers give $2.5 billion. Yep, thank you. All right, the third thing is data centers should be built with the latest technology, sure it minimizes the impact on the environment. We should be leaning on renewable energy to ensure it's not tapping into the grid. Thank you. Last thing is local control. Local voices matter. Data centers should be built in communities that want them, not communities that. Thank you. This is so much common sense. So, Olu and Esteves are neck and neck. So he said he was raised on the south side of Columbus. I want to make sure that we're facing areas like Southwest Middle Georgia. Okay, that means working with city leaders, college and university, technical college, K through 12, strengths and bring companies into the region that can create jobs. At the same time, I want to make sure I'm supporting small businesses. Okay, he's a small business owner. I do like that he owns a small business. All right, so he's got a bit of an edge to me over Olu because he has political experience. So right now, Esteves is leading for me. Yeah, right now, Esteves is leading for me. I like what he said. I like what he's saying. So, Esteves is in the lead for me. So let's go to the next one. Derek Jackson. I know this isn't a Derek Jackson that sleep with other people's women, but let's see. Derek Jackson, Democrat. All right, unbossed. Okay. He's a 22-year military veteran. I saw that. He want money. Corporate general, adjunct professor, entrepreneur, nonprofit board member, leader in the community that's known for his determination, keen work ethic, integrity, strong commitment. Okay. Camille Jackson, powerhouse of service, leadership, expertise. Okay. Raise the minimum wage, honor public servants, affordability for all, universal, accessible health care. Increase the numbers of nurses, especially underserved. Okay, investment. Okay, fueling economic heartbeat. Okay. Preparing the next generation of world-class education. We'll invest in. All right. Environmental justice now. Clean air, safe water. Protect the vulnerable. Okay, I love that. Defending the right of every Georgia. Okay, hold on. Let me start back over because I wasn't sharing my tab. So Derek Jackson, a little screen popped up because he's asking for money. 22-year military officer, corporate general, professor, entrepreneur, nonprofit leader. All right, so that's how he describes himself. Raise the minimum wage, $20 per hour. Okay, $20 per hour. That is ambitious, and I like it. All right, everyday life for housing and groceries. Okay, you gotta tell us how you gonna do something like this. All right, so that was very vague, but it sure as hell sounds good. Okay, affordable health care, expand Medicaid, hospitals. Okay, we'll increase the number of nurses, pediatricians, available. Okay, if you talk about increasing the number of people and okay, how you gonna do that and make things affordable? Small business black farmers, they're the soul. Okay, my leadership is will be not be overlooked, will cut red tape, includes access to capital. All right, okay, that's good. That's good. I don't have anything against that. That is good. Public education, preparing the next generation for the job. So tomorrow, public education through technical colleges, being access to trades and well, how outdated systems like job corps, person 20 workforce pipelines that lead to real skills, okay. All right, that's interesting. Environmental justice. Every Georgian deserves all that. It's essential. Hold polluters accountable. Okay. All right. He's hitting the talking points. And uphold the full protection. We will reject fear, hate. Okay, that's not repeal and replace harmful laws. It's time to end the era of harmful laws everywhere in health. Despair of black mothers and children. I will fight to repeal. Okay, I say well, we will prioritize safety, public health. All right. So the issue with this part is you have to have representatives that are going to help you do something like this. So we need to know who we're voting for. Putting families first. To tackle the rising costs. Okay, this is where he breaks down. This is where he breaks down his agenda. Okay, so he has some political experience. So he supported a home and path to building a home program, housing stability, and Georgia Dream. Farmers, our local economy's been on the bed they should. Introduce House bill, not loans. This ensures. So he introduced House Bill 1449, but it appears that it didn't pass. So he want to eliminate state income tax for veterans, educators, nurses, and seniors. So that will put the weight of taxes on everybody else. Affordability is also about what you earn. I introduced to address Georgia's outdated. Okay, so $20, $27 eventually. I like that. The Georgia Worker Empowerment Act to ensure working families manifest. I introduced the strongest pro-labor bill in Georgia history. Right to work clauses that intimidate employees. This bill strengthening unions when labor is strong. Okay. That's an important one. That's the pro-labor bill. So that's an important one. Healing Georgia, a proven path to universal health care. Medicaid expansion, the path to universal health care. So he wants to solve the specialist shortage in 159 counties. All right. Technically speaking, that budget surplus could do that. All right. While my opponents in this race speaking hypotheticals off of that, I'm the only candidate presenting concrete policies backed by introduced legislation. Yeah, but are you going to have the votes? All right, to turn legislative visions into a statewide reality for first win as a governor, to protect our communities and conditional values. Our administration will champion common sense gun safety to ensure responsible ownership. I introduced the bill to place a moratorium on military style guns. This is important. This is important. Ensuring that weapons of war have no place. That is very important. So Derek Jackson he's doing it. Protecting the ballot, voting is the most to ensure every voice, how to fight the independent process. All right. I hope he can do this. I hope whoever becomes governor is going to do this. Uphold civil rights, human dignity, welcomes all and intimidates none. I introduced my anti-ICE legislation. It's very good. I love that. ICE is a criminal organization, in my opinion, and they work for a criminal enterprise. Environmental rights, the same right to clean, increased by industry. Just doesn't build a place more. Yes, place a moratorium on data centers. Yes. Now he's in the lead. He's in the lead. As you can probably tell, I love the earth, and you don't have anything if you don't have an earth. Like, if nobody can live here because it's so polluted and messed up, the whole experiment is over. We might as well all go on over to the other side. So thank you, Derek Jackson, for standing for a moratorium. He's in the lead for that reason for me. Education. All right. While my opponent speaking hypotheticals, I'm the only candidate. Okay, so that's probably true. Currently operating quality a funding model from 1985. 1919, I have championed the model to reflect the actual. Okay. Equity through a poverty way. A child's potential should never be limited. I've introduced to finally add a poverty way to. I love that he has actual bills that are being introduced. I do find that to be reassuring and refreshing. But how adequate is introducing a bill if you do not have people in the House in the state, in the House of Representatives that will support it? So that definitely is my concern. All right. So he's talking about the best for the military, honoring the total force. Okay. Targeted military veteran tax relief, world-class quality of life. We must provide. Okay, so I love what he's saying about the veterans, and he's asking for money again. I love what he's saying about the veterans. He is definitely a contender. He's definitely a contender. I love that he has political experience. I love that he has introduced legislation about so many important issues, and I definitely love that he is going to put a moratorium on the data centers. I definitely love that. Okay, is he Rick Jackson or Derek Jackson? Is he a billionaire? Let's see. Is Rick Jackson and Derek Jackson the same person? Okay, maybe this is okay, that's a Republican. Okay. Just to make sure we get it right. Derek Jackson, Bucks establishment for Tyrone. Oh, he's the representative for Tyrone. Okay. All right. Must be a dog or somebody behind me. Georgia faces competitive primary in Georgia race. Democrats battle for second. Okay. Let's see. They're talking about Rick Jackson again. If you're a Republican and you think about voting for Rick Jackson, you might want to look into him. So Derek Jackson issued a statement regarding ICE operations. We know how he feel about ICE. Bucks establishment. All right. Candidate for governor. Supportive. Okay. So let's see here. Derek Jackson. And one of the things you want to remember about somebody standing up and saying they're going to put a moratorium on the data centers, that means he's not taking data center money. That means he is not going to tell you, oh, we're going to look into this whole thing about the data centers, and then he's going to turn around and screw you. If he's coming out and saying, nope, I'm putting a moratorium on it, I'm not going to allow them to build and pollute and hoard and get paid from your taxes, then he's the real deal when it comes to that. All right, Derek Jackson for governor. All right, let me see. So when you hit, I'm gonna hit it. When you draw first vote with me, I'm gonna end it. That was okay. So these are the Republicans are really battling this thing out, and I hope you all are gonna go. I hope you all are gonna go and not only vote, but I also hope that you all are going to make sure that you check on the integrity of your vote. Make sure that your vote is being counted. Make sure that you're not going to make sure that you're not going to go down there and cast a vote and then it falls into a black hole. All right, did you catch it? Proud to have built a relationship. Okay. All right, so I am seeing nothing controversial about Derek Jackson. And so he is betting on his military experience, his track record as a representative, a former representative, current representative for Tyrone, and his business acumen. He's actually in the lead for me right now. And is Derek Jackson, then Estevez, and then Olu. All right, so we're almost done. Mike Thurmond, Democrat. So let's see what Mike is about. Oh, it is a dog behind me. I hear you, Lexi. I hear you. All right, Mike Thurmond, Democrat. So let's see. Let's see what's happening with Mike Thurmond. He's a veteran Georgia Democrat and attorney currently running for governor. He's a former CEO of DeKalb County. Ugh, my least favorite county. Ugh. All right, Mike Thurmond, Sleepy County, right where he's. All right, I can't hold that against him. He can't help it. But one of the most corrupt counties probably in the country. Let's see. Mike Thurmond. Where's your website, Mr. Thurmond? The Georgia Recorder. How the Black Bernie High White Athens High were integrated. Okay, I know we ain't going all the way back there. Where is his website? Where is your website? So you might run into this. You are going to see people who don't bother to get a website to explain exactly what they are about. So Red and Black. This is an interview he did with Athens, a paper in Athens. So Paris offices. He was CEO of the CAP, superintendent of the school district, state labor commissioner. So he's got a lot of experience. This is probably what you would call an establishment Democrat. So Georgia's not the worst, but I believe we are underperforming. We have to build a coalition. I want to know. He's talking about the 3,000 people who lost their jobs or were fired from the CDC. Federal shutdown. Yeah, that's pretty. I want to know why he doesn't have a website. I need to hear in his own words what he's going to do. And so for him not to have a website, is that a strategic? Is that a strategic move that you don't want people to be able to? This is who needs to be Attorney General for Georgia, for sure. When I go over the numbers and I go over her record, you will see why you need to go out and be serious about voting for this woman. She is the real deal. She's the real deal. I should not have to go 3-4 pages in and I still don't know what you stand for. I haven't seen your website. I haven't seen what you are telling us in your own words you're going to do for the state of Georgia. And so he's probably a good dude. He probably is. I don't have any way of looking at a bullet point of what he stands for and what he's going to do if he is elected to head the state. And so, that's not controversial. That's just telling me like maybe this isn't the kind of priority to you that it probably should be. So he's entered the race. I know you're the former CEO of DeKalb County. And so I don't know. Let's look at Transparency USA. So he has $883,000 in contributions. He spent $929,000 so far. So that's interesting. Let's see. Media, Southern Majority, Digital Company, Texas Campaigns. Why is Texas Campaigns wanting this man to be? Oh, these are people he's paid out. Why is he paying somebody in Texas? So he had an anonymous contribution of $53,000. That's weird. Assembly Atlanta. This is interesting. So these are his contributors. So he had an anonymous $53,000 contribution. Somebody's going to want to get something for their money. Interesting. A lot of these people are putting down big bucks. So maybe that's why he feels like, hey, I don't have to have a website. These people know me. These people are going to bankroll me. And that is what you're seeing here. You are seeing people put up some real money for a person who does not appear to have a website. Now, I could be wrong about that. I didn't see a website. Roy Barnes, former governor, put up 5,000. Okay, I like Roy Barnes. He was a good governor. So these are the people who have donated to the former CEO of DeKalb County. Clinical Support Systems, GM International Consultants. Do any of these people look familiar to y'all? These are people who are willing to put their names out there as being his contributors, but some anonymous donor chunked down over $50,000 in contributions to him. So that is pretty concerning. You got an anonymous contribution like that. Construction company making contributions. Yeah, he's raised almost $1 million. He spent almost $1 million, and none of it was on a website. So, yeah, just let's sit with that for a minute. So let's see who Keisha Lance Bottoms has as her contributors. Sometimes you might be in a situation where you come across some information that you want to know more about. And so check out the race. So Chris Carr has raised $2 million. Estevez is raised $1.1 million. Keisha Lance Bottoms is at $922,000. Mike Thurman is at $883,000. And then Steve Gooch, Ben Land, okay, Craig Squawwell. I can't wait to get to the judges. This is going to be fun to get to the judges, y'all. Because these judges be doing all kinds of stuff that you don't know nothing about. It'd be in the newspaper, it'd be on a website somewhere, and you won't have a clue. And you'll go right in there and vote for them because they got an R behind their name or a D behind their name. And they literally need to be in somebody's jail. All right, Vernon Jones, Tim Eccles, Paige Whitaker. I love Judge Whitaker. She's been pretty fair from what I've been able to see. Yeah. So here's their numbers. Here's their numbers. So Estevez, let's take a look at Estevez. He's raised $1.1 million. For governor of Georgia. He had an anonymous $32,000 donation. Who could that have been? Then he had a PAC give him $26,000. Somebody in Columbus, Two Pillars. So let's take a look at his contributors. To me, this never looks good. This says you potentially gonna owe somebody some favor down the road, and this never looks good. Now, can you stop someone from donating to your campaign anonymously? Not really, I guess, but that's always a concern. It's a concern. Federation of Public Service Employees, okay. All right, so we got people putting in thousands of dollars. They want to see him. Now, this is actually my representative who I will not be voting for reasons I won't go into for this particular video. But committee to elect Harold Jones. Okay, wow. Ashay Collins. She seems to be pretty cool. All right, so these are looking like people who just believe in him. And Galileo Impact Fund State. Wonder what that is. So, oh, Georgia for Jason. Okay. So, Jason is second for me. Civil Justice PAC. Oh, I gotta know who these people are. I'm sorry. I'm that kind of girl. I gotta know who these people are. So let's do some looking, shall we? It's a bipartisan political action committee for the Georgia Trial Lawyers Association, who protect the civil justice system and the right to trial by jury in Georgia. Resource represent trial lawyers and their clients. I am actively looking for a lawyer right now, and I can't find one. So I don't know. Maybe this is something I need to know about. But we just went through all of the candidates for governor. Right now, my top choice is Derrick Jackson, followed by Jason, and then Olu. I hope that you all are going to take very seriously your responsibility to know who you're voting for, know what they stand for, and not play around about your vote. Next time, we're going to go through Lieutenant Governor and Secretary of State. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed this breakdown of the candidates. And I hope when you go to the polls, you can write down the names of these people and pull it out when you're at the ballot so you don't forget. Especially when you have a situation like Derrick Jackson and Rick Jackson. Like, these are different parties, but the names are very similar, and there's nothing wrong with you making sure that you vote for the right person by writing it down and making sure you go in there highly informed. Highly informed is the way. All right, so I will see you all tomorrow.